ladies, gentlemen, welcome back. Now, not too long I posted a very heated video about an innocent man being slandered by pedophiles on Twitter. This is mainly due to the fact that he was calling out people for consuming pedophile fiction. A lot happened after that video got posted, mainly on Twitter. They said I was just rambling and yapping a storm and not making any logical points, which doesn't make sense. Here's a video that's finally going to put these pedophiles to the ground. So let's not keep the devil waiting. It's showtime. Now, I can't find the post anymore, but there's this gimmick account named God who is now going by the name of Chair. Now, why is he going by the name of Chair? Because he made a post saying that lolicon is pedophilia, which is true. Ween makes a good detailed analysis about why it's pedophilia. Here's one of his best arguments from that video.
You're fine with violence in video games, so you should be fine with lolly. Basically stating that video games would cause people to murder if lolly caused people to offend. On paper, this is their best argument until you understand the chemical process behind the acts of sexual gratification and murder. Sexual arousal releases a cocktail of addictive chemicals such as dopamine, endorphins, and oxytocin. This is the same for self-pleasure and actual physical intimacy. Video games, which allow you to kill, release dopamine. Killing in real life, however, just dumps a shit ton of adrenaline on most people, and most people recognize that killing in real life will not give you the same satisfactory response that you get from Call of Duty. We also understand that sexual gratification is essentially the same in self-pleasure as it is in intercourse, with intercourse being much better for most people. It is safe to infer that most people will seek out sexual intercourse at some point based on what they gratify themselves to, and that most people will not look to kill another person simply based off of media. Did I need to explain this to most people? No. We like to point out that there's a difference between fantasy and reality, but also fail to acknowledge that certain fantasies, especially sexual, have a huge impact on your reality.
Using biological science to prove your point. Now that's absolutely insane. You love to see it. So, let me put you on game. Making this claim on Twitter for some reason notifies every single pedophile on the fucking planet for some reason. Millions of them will come to attack you, gaslight, use ad hominems, posting archive that shows a bunch of hypocrites. Essentially, they start trolling you until you shut up. How do I know this? Well, I was a victim of this myself. I made several threads about lolicons being pedophilia, but the part that got my name slandered for days is this screenshot right here. Apparently, this screenshot is full, unfiltered proof that I'm a pedophile, and it would have been if I didn't debunk that claim right after. Nah, bro, this was the most funniest shit I've ever seen in my life. They really tried to get me there, but they didn't expect me to actually fight back against their allegations. They tried to call me out for being a pedophile. I debunked them. They tried it again, this time with someone else. And unfortunately, this is the worst part, is that they drove him to leave Twitter altogether. He left Twitter, straight up. You'll find out why I say that later. However, he did a few things before leaving, such as making a thread debunking the claims made against him. Now, before this thread begins, let me go ahead and address all the allegations that are dropped against him right now. Number 1, he follows minors. This is true. The screenshots have shown that not only does he have minors in his follower account, but he follows them back as well. Number 2, he asks for their discords. This is also true. Screenshots have shown that he has been asking for their discords. Number 3, he talks to minors. This is also true. Honestly, we don't even need a screenshot to know that he does this. He doesn't hide the fact that he does. Number 4, he's talking to a minor with hypersexuality. This is true. It's no longer a secret anymore because it got leaked by pedophiles. Number 5, he's sexually interacting with a minor, sexing them even. This is complicated. But don't worry, you're watching this video to find out why that is. So sit tight, grab a drink, because a lot of what I said here is so out of context. So let's add context to it, shall we? Before I address the allegations myself, let's hear what the accused has to say. God, Chair, make your case.
Gonna make this short and sweet because Google decided to crash and retest my progress. We're going step by step. You follow minor accounts. I follow 3,700 accounts. Some are bound to be minors. Just because I turn 18 does not mean I am a pedophile for staying following and enjoying their content. Not only that, but you nitpick the smallest details of it, which is very annoying and makes your point sound stupid. And then posting body images has nothing to do with me because I don't see them. You asked for minor socials. That doesn't make me a pedophile. I asked because I wanted to spam them with funny computers because that's what they liked. I also invited them to my Discord because I trust them and find it really annoying that you people picks ideas without looking into things. You talk sexually with a minor. That was my mistake. I should have checked their age and looked deeper before commenting, but the screenshots were taken disgustingly out of context. The original tweet was already referencing Rule 34. The user themselves even told y'all to leave me alone. You have a minor's DPRIV. That minor has hypersexuality, a trauma response they cannot control, so they made the accounts. They actively reached out to me and gave me the name for the account because they trust me and know I can't leak it. Which is something you guys did. It's called a deep private. A private where strangers should not be sticking their nose in because it contains very sensitive information. This whole situation has also stressed out said minor. You're a zoophile. There is a massive difference between furry and feral. Look it up. You're projecting. Connect the dots, it's not that hard. And now for my counter arguments. 1. Lolicon is and always will be disgusting. It's normal for human beings to find it that way. It is children depicted in sexual scenarios which normalizes and trivializes the sexualization of children. So you cannot be talking about me being a pedophile. 2. Most if not all the people I be seen going along with it are anti-Semitic, racist, lolicon, political, extremely religious, or overall just problematic people who have learned nothing from the quite and pyrocynical scenario. Now I do understand and forgive those who are willing to apologize, but if you just threatened me for no reason other the other people were being pedophiles. 3. I've only recently turned 18. However, to some of you that makes me a pedophile by default when you are 20 to 35 years old harassing someone because they don't agree with you. You are genuinely horrible people. And sending me threats is only proving my point. 4. You do not care about anyone's safety. You only care for clout. What do I mean by this? Well, you don't seem to care that these are life-ruining lies you're spreading. You don't seem to care you're putting innocent people at risk, especially. He got done dirty because you all didn't care about boundaries. You cyberstalked me and found his DPRIV. A deep private account only close friends have access to. And willingly expose him without giving any warning or even having courtesy to censor it. I mean, hey, the guy who made the tweet about me following minors had the decency to at least delete the screenshot of his DPRIV. It's too late because everyone's spreading it around, but it is what it is. Why no? You've stressed him out and you're sick for that. You only want to get attention and followers by going up against me and calling me a pedophile. You don't actually care about kids. You don't want to protect them or make sure they thrive. Hell, I bet you want stuff like this to happen so you can monopolize on another's suffering. 5. You are attacking anyone who defends me. One of these accounts known as Will ever reported one of my mutuals and got them suspended for a week because they didn't think I was a pedophile. This is also extremely disgusting, as since for a bunch of people who advocate for minors do not interact, you sure as hell love talking to them. 6. I blocked you because you didn't take the time to look into things or were overall just a fucking weirdo. And I don't feel like dealing with that shit. The tweet really was a free block list since it exposed so many pedophiles and racists. 7. You are all a burden to everyone you interact with and I feel bad they have to deal with you. Going out of your way to attack someone because they don't like loli is cringe as fuck. 8. You all have waited until just now to call me out for harping as God when you could have Spencer ages ago. Which prove my points. You wait until someone remotely popular calls someone out and then hop on the train. 9. I am taken in a relationship with an adult. 10. To those who randomly jumped on the train. Do your damn research next time. Regardless of if I'm harping as God or not, you're still a fucked up individual. Also am obviously a parody and have not mocked the word of dead. If you want to know what God really supports, let me clue you in. Matthew 18, 6. Galatians 3:28. John 2, 9-11. Luke 17, 2. Ephesians 4:32. Galatians 6, 2. 11. People unfollowing me is a good thing. I can tell who is real enough to stick with me until I make a response. 12. You all have some of the worst people defending the cause of lolicons and it makes you look horrible. Worse than you already are.
All this fucking yap for nothing. Don't matter, you still a fucking pedophile. Like you can create whatever excuse like, lawless normalize the sexualization of children, so you can't blame me for that. Yes we can and we will, you pedo fuck, because you indulged on that sexualization, so shove this excuses up your ass MF.
You really gotta go out of your way to piss me off, don't you? He's not a fucking pedophile. He only followed minors, talked to them. He didn't talk to them sexually, and if he did, he didn't know they were minors. He didn't groom them. He didn't send porn to them. He didn't do any of that shit. As you can see, folks, this is what drove me over the edge. This is why I'm making this video. This is what set me on the path of clearing Chair's name. It's already been established how I feel about these allegations, but I'm going to say this one last time so it can finally marinate in your brain. Let me tell you something about these 4 accusations here. The baby oil collectors finally admitted that he's doing all this with the intention to groom and sexualize children. This implies that every action he committed here in these screenshots is for the sole purpose of grooming and sexualizing these children. To that I say, how do you know? How do you know if that's the only reason he's interacting with these kids? Do all adults interact with children with the specific purpose of sexualizing them? Every adult on the planet, including you? Don't worry, I'm not gonna gaslight you, but that is what you're implying when you're accusing him of being a pedophile. That's the message that you're giving off to me. By calling him a pedophile, you're essentially saying that only a pedophile would do any of the things that are in this screenshot right here. Oh yeah, because adults definitely haven't done any good in the past. That's very pessimistic thinking. However, you seem to be very confident that he's a pedophile all because he did 4 of these things. How? How do you know? How do you know if he's trying to sexualize these children? How do you know? Every time I ask this question, the P. Diddy community gets scared because any answer they give could make people actually question their narrative. These ideas are to be challenged, and they know that. So their only option is to stay quiet, make ad hominems, change the subject. They will use any means necessary if it means they don't have to answer this question, because maintaining the agenda is their top priority. So, we've established that they cannot prove the sexual intent behind these actions. What can they prove? Well, they do have screenshots of the 5th claim, such as him talking to minors sexually, and I'm gonna be honest, these screenshots are pretty damning. But, if I remember correctly, these child rapists have a tendency to be disingenuous with their screenshots, hiding the context underneath to make their victims look as bad as possible. I should know because they continue to do this to me every single day. Again, this screenshot exists for a reason, and every time you post this image, it drives people to find the real context behind it. And if they find the real context behind this image and why you're calling me a pedophile for it, you're gonna look real stupid. One thing you gotta understand about normal people is that they're not fucking slow. So stop pretending that they are. The screenshots look terrible, but it's out of context. I already know it is, which is exactly why I called them out for it. Now, one of them managed to do something that no other pedophile would do, and that was to give me a link to this post specifically. What? No. It was undeniable. I can see it with my very own eyes. He did make this comment. And what's worse, I can't see what he was responding to. This is bad news for me, because if I can't make a good explanation for this, I'm gonna be called a pedophile defender. Legitimately. Needless to say, I am in deep trouble. Very deep trouble. So, it is established that he has done this. This we do know. But the question is why? Why did he do this? What is the reason behind this comment? What was he replying to? These were the questions that were circling through my head as I made multiple attempts to try and contact him privately. However, to no avail. Jumping platform to platform, trying to reach the goal and shit. I wasn't doing this to play the game. I did this because I was considering giving up. I talked up a storm about how Cherry isn't a pedophile. I went on and on about how he was innocent, and they were in the wrong. But the evidence is right in front of me. As I was jumping platform to platform, a memory came up in my head. A memory about a moment in a game. Ace Attorney, Spirit of Justice. Probably got that name wrong though. It's been a long time since I played this game, but I remember this much. The first court case involves a kid being labeled a murderer for a crime he did not commit. There was a recording of him holding something over his head. And in the next frame, the screen flashes red, with the word pain spawning in. This kinda makes him look like he struck down on the victim's head. This was damning evidence. Even Phoenix Wright said so. It looks real bad for the kid. And yet, despite that, Phoenix Wright still manages to clear the poor kid's name. Somehow, some way, he managed to win the case. It was thanks to that memory that I built up the motivation to defend Cher again. If Phoenix Wright can do it, then so can I. I got off the game and went back to the link that was sent to me. Nope, nothing's changed, and I can't get past it either. I tried to follow the original poster to see what was locked behind that privacy wall. I got denied. See, it's boots only. But I still wasn't gonna give up. Too many witnesses have come forward to defend his name, despite what happened here. There has to be a reason for this. There has to be. And the only way I'm going to find out is if I talk to the main accuser. As I was looking through the replies, something caught my attention. The main accuser actually made a comment telling me to go into DMs. Now I couldn't do it right then and there. You see, I have this little issue called an 8-hour job, which ruins any free time that I have. But after everything was said and done, I finally pulled up, which for some reason caught him off guard. Here's how the conversation went down.
What in the actual...
Here I was, coming face to face with the man who started it all. I can tell by his personality alone that he thinks everything's a fucking game. But I'm not gonna disregard him just yet. No, we're just getting started. Okay, I'm ready for the debate. Let's do this.
What? You're still on this shit?
Yes, of course.
This is you right now.
Clearing his name is difficult, but there's still hope, so I'm not backing down. If it means I can clear his name, then so be it. Can't just let someone like you lie on his name.
That's one big conspiracy then.
Big conspiracies tend to happen.
Not with pedophiles though.
Yeah, but you didn't prove that he was a pedophile, so it seems like I'm defending someone who's being misjudged.
Dog follows minors, talking to them inappropriately, and asks for their discords. Just stop.
So he follows minors. For what purpose? Talks to them inappropriately. You mean when he's trying to basically give sex education? And access for their discords. For what purpose? Do you see the flaws in your accusation yet? Keep in mind that I'm only pressuring you because I'm told that you're the original. If I'm going after the wrong source of the problem here, then I prefer to debate the original accuser.
It was someone else. I just had the balls to post it on his tweet.
Okay, who was it then? He needs to be confronted for his lies.
I don't know. This happened like a month ago. And no one lied. There's fucking proof.
Like what? Him following minors? That's the pedophilia?
Yes.
How? What's sexual about that? I follow minors too. Am I a pedophile as well? Am I doing it with sexual intent? The bio says that they're a minor, but the age isn't specified. I did more research. It seems kids under 12 aren't allowed to interact. So it's likely we're dealing with a 2-year or 1-year age gap.
With what proof?
The straw page. And don't worry, I'm going to address what you just said. If you stand with the crazy belief that an 18-year-old dating a 17 or 16-year-old isn't pedophilia, then why would you call him a pedophile here? It doesn't help when he says that he just turned 18, so it looks even worse for you.
Because it's fucking creepy.
It's fucking creepy, you say? So you agree that an 18-year-old dating a 17 or 16-year-old is creepy then? Would you say that it would make it pedophilic in nature? These are honest questions. I'm not implying if I agree or not. So, you say it's creepy. Is that where the pedophilia comes from? What's the matter? Cat got your tongue? He's clearly scared. But why? I don't understand what's happening here, but I need to press him further. Look, you told me to go into DMs. Here I am. Now, let's get to business. It's not looking good for you.
This is the hill you're dying on.
Right. The question remains, does the pedophile come from the creepiness that you declared? What is he doing? Why can't he answer? Is something stopping him? Look, we're not making any progress here. You have a chance to make your argument look legitimate. Pedophilia is a serious accusation. There could be consequences if you're exposed for lying on his name. Take this opportunity to make your case legitimate. His silence tells me all that I needed to know. He's afraid of the response I will give if he answers yes or no, which means he's hiding something from me. He has information about Jared that he doesn't want getting out. Maybe because it will be detrimental to his narrative. Whatever his reason is, one thing is clear. He's too afraid to go any further. It was at this moment I came up with the idea of making an exposed video, all dedicated to his silence. But that's when another idea came to my head. If I can't get to Chair directly, then maybe I can contact his friends instead. So, contact them I did. Okay, so the first person I'm going to interview is this individual right here. Oh, hey there. Sorry to bother you, but I need your help. You see, there's this guy who's going by the name of God. I'm sure you remember him. He's the guy in this screenshot right here. Yeah, he's being called a pedophile for it. Now, this would have been very incriminating if he wasn't a minor when this occurred. You, my friend, can help me clear his name. I just need to ask a very risky question if you don't mind. I know you're a minor, you said as much in your bio, and according to what you said here, it's safe to assume that you're either 15, 16, or 17 years old. Which one of these is true? Your answer can probably save him from the allegations, so I need—
I'm 13.
Okay, we're just gonna pretend that didn't happen and go straight to the next guy. Why, hello, friend. I got a question to ask you. Oh. Okay, that was bad. But you know what they say, third time's the charm.
Get the fuck out my pole!
I have to contact him, don't I? The minor with the hypersexuality. Well, here goes. I'm contacting you because I have no contact with Chair, but I want to let you know that I'm close to clearing God's name. See the screenshot right here? I confronted the guy who dropped the allegations against him. He's backed into a corner right now, and everyone is grasping at straws mentioning the stuff I did in the past to excuse the fact that I'm trying to expose this false allegation he dropped against him. I need your help.
He doesn't use Twitter anymore.
Yeah, that's no surprise.
It's only fair, but he's doing much better in smaller and private spaces.
Is that why he's asking for people's discords? They're calling him a pedophile for that too.
No, he's asking people's discords because of a friend server. Or, well, he asked he doesn't really do that anymore.
I knew it! This is very helpful information. I truly appreciate it.
It's all in his pin thread. I think you should take a look at it because it does explain everything pretty well.
Oh, I read it down to its last detail. I suffer false allegations too. I don't want him to go through the same pain I went through.
That is completely fair. Thank you for all of this. He sends all of his best regards to you.
This is perfect. I can't wait to talk to him. You know, for a trauma victim, he sure seems happy. A lot of good things must be going on in his life right now. Oh well, it doesn't matter. He gave me the means to contact him. Now I can finally speak to the man himself. It's time to have a word with God. This is it, the moment we've all been waiting for. Now that I'm here, I can finally uncover the truth of the whole situation. But before I begin, there's a secret I've neglected to tell you up until this point. You see, a while back while I was debating with the pedophiles, one of them gave me a challenge. He said, if you can prove that he's not a pedophile, if you can prove his innocence, then you will have to prove that he's not a victim of pedophilia. This accusation left me a little stunned. What the hell do you mean I have to prove that he's not a victim? Well, let me provide some context. See, there's someone else out there being labeled a pedophile who's connected to Chair. Turns out it was his partner. Now, I'm not gonna name his partner because I want to respect his privacy. With that being said, this is a challenge I'm going to accept. Not only will I clear Chair's name, but maybe I will be able to clear his partners as well. Let's see if I can kill two birds with one stone. However, before we begin, there's something I need to establish before I speak to Chair. If you've been watching this video thinking this is a debate about what's right and what's wrong, then I'm sorry, you've been misinformed. That's not why I'm defending Chair. If the argument by itself is that what Chair did in these screenshots were wrong, then I wouldn't be making this video at all. I do not care if what he did was wrong. He obviously did. But the real question is, did he do it intentionally, or was he not using his head? Did he know what he was doing the entire time, or did he not? Is he a pedophile, or is he not? Is what he did truly pedophilic, or was it an innocent mistake? That's what matters to this video the most. We're not gonna discuss the morality of what he's done, that's irrelevant. The only thing that matters in the grand scheme of things is whether or not he's a pedophile. That's the only thing that matters. Nothing else. Because if he knew what he was doing, then yes, he's a pedophile, 100%. But if he doesn't, then the people who's calling him a pedophile right now are watering down the term. You can't be a pedophile simply by being best friends with those who are younger than you, following them, chatting with them. Many sources have proved this to be the case. Look at the screenshots that I provided. Platonic friendships are factually, E for everyone. It's actually not up for debate. There's something I want you to pay attention to as well. When Chair made this comment to the 13-year-old, he broke all contact when one of the commenters said that she was a minor. He went completely silent after this event, as far as I know. Deleting the comment would have been a better option, but completely ghosting is not a bad idea either. It's not best to interact any further. The diddler made an argument that the minors established their ages in their bio, but let's be honest for a second. Who's gonna check the bio of every tweet they see when they doom scroll on Twitter? No one. I certainly don't. I made this claim earlier and they told me to provide a screenshot of him doom scrolling. This is a trolling tactic these Epstein followers tend to use to keep you quiet, but it doesn't work. Because that's unrealistic. You can't screenshot someone else doom scrolling. However, judging by what he has done in these screenshots, it seems all of this was a result of doom scrolling. It looks like he saw a post, made an edgy comment, and went on about his business. That's what this screenshot looks like to me. Because I do the same thing. Except it's never sexual, it's just racist memes. Now that we've established what this video is about, let's not wait anymore. My interview with Chair begins now. Let's do this. Hello, God. We finally meet at long last.
Hey, I send my regards, bro. I just really don't want to go on Twitter again. Mental health break.
Not to worry, I'm not going to ask you to come back, but I do have a few questions to ask for it may help me defend your case.
Go ahead.
A lot of people are calling you a pedophile for these list of reasons. You follow minors, you talk to them, and you ask for their discords. These I can defend you on because they factually don't make sense. But it's this part where they have me backed into a corner. I wanted to know what was the context behind this tweet. What was really happening when you made this tweet? Why did you say this?
I was answering their question. The first one, the question being asked was, what is raw dogging? And the second one I already talked about in the response.
You did? I must have missed something. No, you just forgot. Let's continue.
It's a private account, so it makes sense.
So about this screenshot right here, is it because you didn't know she was a minor?
Yeah, no, I had no clue. I assumed based entirely on the context of the tweet. I didn't check the other replies, so I'll take some fault for that. I should do a little research and overall be a little less weird. And I'm trying to better myself in those terms, especially with my follow.
This confirms my theory. He was doom scrolling. So you just scrolled down and made the comment and basically called it a day, right?
Yeah.
This actually makes sense. It really puts things into perspective. Okay, so time to get into the meat and potatoes. Let's talk about the minor with the hypersexuality thing. Can you give me a rundown of what hypersexuality is? I've heard of it before, and I have some idea of what it is, but I never really understood what it actually does to a person. It sounds like a sexuality, but I heard it was about trauma. Is it a sexuality? What's going on here?
Hypersexuality is a near uncontrollable trauma response due to past sexual abuse or harassment. It leads people to make accounts like this, which in most cases are actually safe alternatives as to what they could do. It is to be noted they might delete the account or move on from it once they start to grow and get better from their past trauma. Supporting them through it, and offering safe alternatives is a good thing to do for them. In most cases, yeah, I could have handled it better, yeah. But at the same time, that doesn't make me a pedophile for something they gave to me. They offered me the account cause they trusted me enough.
I see. So, here's the deal, right? I can agree that a professional is more suitable to help someone like that, but it really doesn't matter to me. Here's what really does matter to me, my burning question. What kind of help were you giving to the minor? I'm not expecting too much private details, but they're calling you a pedophile for it. So, were you giving them sex education? Like, what were you doing?
Not really. I sorta just chilled with them. I talked them through their trauma and why they might feel that way. I'm gonna try and remember the specifics. Okay, I was trying to help them understand that their trauma was valid and what they were doing was understandable, as well as recommend some alternatives and talk to them about what's happening. I told them they could vent to me. And also, the help was actually trying to help them find purpose in life. They were going through something extremely tough and needed the support. So I reached out and extended a helping hand. They took it, and we built trust with each other, like they were trying to find a good reason to stay alive.
They were sexually abused by a pedophile, weren't they?
I hope not, though I won't ask deeper, because I don't want to remind them of a trauma, but I do assume it's something on the lines of sexual abuse.
It's easy to come to this conclusion since it's traumatic. Either way, a pedophile got involved in this child's life somehow.
True, maybe it was grooming or something.
And essentially, you wanted to give them a reason to not kill themselves.
Multiple times, yeah, and I think it worked. They've been feeling a lot better because of our support and their father. I don't think I did much help, but they did make a positive bet here.
Wait. That's why the kid was so positive when he spoke to me. This guy helped him. He's giving me screenshots? I didn't even ask for them yet. He just went out of his way and provided screenshots without me asking. Alright then, you just saved this kid's life. I'm impressed, I ain't gonna lie, this is crazy. This is crazy to look at, I ain't gonna lie, this is actually pretty good. You know, they say a professional should do this type of thing. Maybe you should sign up to be that professional.
Exactly, bro. I've been considering going to college and getting a degree in therapy. I really want to become a therapist as I get joy from helping people. And if I can monetize and find a way to make money from doing so, then oh my god. I'm actively trying to study psychology as well, taking notes and stuff. But yes, I do want to become a professional in that.
I respect that. I respect that a lot, actually.
You, or a real one by the way. People tend to not listen to the other person who's being accused.
This is because people don't have the patience to do the research and actually look into the accusation itself to see if it's legitimate or not. I don't do that. I actually investigate. They don't have the intelligence or the patience to look into the things they talk about, so they just say random shit and hope it sticks. Okay, so another thing. What was the context to this? Were you trying to expose someone for being a creep, or what's going on here?
He called me a zoophile and reposted that shit. That is also on me. I made it in response, but at the same time, I risked exposing it to some followers.
Because it would have been on their TL, right?
I still might not come back to Twitter, only because life is better without it.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. No one is born or raised in that hellscape like me.
The internet is living proof of where life-ruining accusations can lead. Like that one Ghost co-player. He was so cool too.
That guy. He was a fucking saint, man. He was a goddamn saint. God bless his soul. I wish I was there for him. Maybe I could have done something.
Me too, but I've had to learn that when someone I do not personally know takes their own life, it's not my fault, and neither is it yours. But it's okay to feel sad or upset at their deaths. All of our emotions are valid.
Okay, so here's the rundown. You interact, follow, and talk to minors both privately and publicly, not because you want to touch kids, not because you want to specifically interact with kids, but for their art, their creativity, and they are genuinely fun people to be around. Your goal was to have a platonic friendship with these kids, completely platonic friendship with these kids. You talking to kids sexually was actually a mistake and was taken way out of context, with one answering a simple question and the other comment made due to a doom scroll on Twitter. You grooming the child with hypersexuality was actually you trying to help them with their trauma and give them a reason to keep living after their horrible experience. Did I get this right?
Not only that, but I didn't groom them at all. There's no actual evidence of that. And I find it crazy how they think an adult talking to a minor is immediately sexual. They kept saying, "You're projecting," when they're projecting.
There's one last thing we gotta address. That Bara furry image.
Oh, that
purple looking thing.
Yeah.
What was that about?
Okay, that was 100% me. I will confess that I like men.
So was that image made by a minor or what?
Was it a minor?
You mean you don't know? I was asking because I don't know.
Me neither. I haven't been on Twitter, so I forget some shit.
Yeah, well, forgive me if I'm not so willing to go investigate it myself. I am straight after all. I like women. Can't get enough of them.
Not only that, but I like the art, not them. Also, that was more of them calling me a zoophile, which I don't get. How are you a lolicon yet also accuse furries of being zoophiles? Pick a struggle, bro.
Yeah, they seem to be running with that narrative for some reason.
And the whole God LARP thing. I understand some people's unhappiness and discomfort, but it was one guy who dropped the hardest essay in existence about Christianity that made me change. Jake Bassman or something. He actually talked to me and handled it like a fucking adult instead of threats. I understand the way I've been acting has been pretty weird, and in my response I apologized to it and anyone who I might have made uncomfortable. I genuinely do want to change and start posting less weird stuff. And I am. I'm trying to get better at it. So overall, yeah, I've somewhat learned from that.
We've established that you had the best intentions, but I have one last criticism to offer. The bar image. You can't be doing that, man!
Yeah, that.
It's gonna be all over their TL and shit. You
That's
over
sort of
here
my issue.
following minors and they're following
I can't
you
really
too.
comment on
It's gonna
anything.
be on their timeline. They're gonna see that. It's gonna be all over their shit, bro. You over here being a gooner while you have minors in your follower account, nigga. Don't you think that's a little bit crazy? Like, did you forget that they were there for a moment? Like, god damn. You gotta be careful. You gotta take this to another account or something, a little private account, something. You can't do it on this account for all the public to see. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's my plan.
Yeah, go to your alt account where you can goon all you like. And with your main account, you can be as safe for work as possible.
Fair. That sounds good enough to me.
I mean, you can still be edgy on your main account. It's fine. It's fine to be edgy, but at least don't be sexual, bro. You got minors, you got the kids. Think about the kids, man. Think about the kids. The kids are watching.
Since I have a big following, people are gonna see it. So I was thinking of making an alt so I can old greely comment on that stuff.
Okay, I think we're done here. After hearing your side of the story and reading the people who are defending you, it seems to add up. You know, people seem to think that you're a good person. I think you're a good person just by how you're behaving. And you even showed me how much of a good person you were by helping out that child. You saved that kid. So, I don't think you're a pedophile. I still think what you did was wrong, but I don't think you're a pedophile. You can't be. Not after what you've done. But this interview isn't done just yet. Because, something else came up. See, I was presented with a challenge before coming here. If I can prove you're innocent, if I can prove that you're not a pedophile, which I did, you're not a pedophile, you are innocent. Story's over. But they told me if I ever did this, I will need to confirm that you're not a victim of pedophilia. So this means I'm gonna have to interview you one last time. The person you were dating, apparently you were a minor while they were an adult. Whatever happened to that?
No, we truly begun dating a few days after I turned 18. So no need to worry about him.
I fucking knew it, bro. I don't really want to ask this question, but I know how these lolicons think. I know what they do. And they're gonna get on my ass if I don't ask this question. When did you meet this 22-year-old? And did he groom you until you were turned 18? This question is for insurance, really, to keep these bastards quiet.
No sexual talking. None of that stuff. Not until I was 18. But we had met a while ago. And when we were talking, we did absolutely nothing sexual. When I turned 18 about a few days after, he asked me if wanted to try anything. And I said yes. So yeah, sure. Maybe he could have waited a bit longer, but no. Legally and morally, we did nothing sexual while I was underage. We only talked.
So everything was platonic and safe until you turned 18. There was no sexual activity going on whatsoever.
He waited a bit after I turned 18. I think I already said that. So it wasn't instant. But yeah, nothing illegal. The only illegal thing he's ever done was steal a pack of Snickers from a 7-Eleven.
Okay. What about this? Were you 18 when this occurred?
I don't think I remember that, but from the date, no. But that was all jokes. I wasn't visiting him, and we were just playing around. Though, I do guess I should have told him about the way he acted as I wasn't 18 yet. I was close. My birthday was on September 3rd. But I do get his and your point. I really should have told him off about that, as it was weird. So I do get it. I'll talk to him. He doesn't have Discord and he's also been taken off of Twitter.
I didn't think I was gonna clear 2 names today. This might be a little difficult. I'm about to ask a very risky question again. And this one's very risky. It's your choice if you want to reveal them or not. I'm not gonna force you. This is more than enough, but just one last bit of insurance. Are you comfortable with showing some of your chat logs with the minor with hypersexuality? Not all of them. You know, some of your best highlights.
Sure. On Discord, right?
Yeah, I'm only asking because I'm being demanded to do so.
Fair.
Okay, I think we're done here.
Thanks, man. I was never expecting someone to make an entire video defending Mr. But honestly, thank you. You're saving me the trouble and effort of going in Twitter. You're doing so much for a stranger, but thank you.
After hearing the arguments of those who accused him, those who defend him, speaking to the man himself along with the minor he's accused of grooming, and after looking back at my own statements along with looking at every single screenshot that was given to me, I did the research into everything he's done. Looked at sources that determines whether or not his actions fall under the definition of pedophilia. I even looked at the manipulative tactics that pedophiles would use against their victims, read articles, checked news sites, and even watched hour-long exposed videos on YouTube based on pedophiles that are popular on the internet, studying what the average pedophile would do, especially on Twitter and Discord. I did all of this while editing the video you're watching now. The verdict is clear as water. He's innocent. He's not guilty. Chair is not a pedophile, but he did do something wrong. even if it was unintentional, even if it was with innocent intentions, he did something wrong. He made a lot of mistakes that he regrets to this very day. He even owned up to his mistakes, and from this point forward, he will not make those mistakes again. Do I agree that he was wrong for the things he did here? Yes, and so does he. Do I agree that he's a pedophile for doing the things that he did? Well, after hearing everyone's point of view and after everything I looked, no, he made a mistake. That's it. Nothing else. 2,000 plus people think that he's a pedophile. I mean, of course, they're pedophiles themselves, so they're going to project, right? But the people who think he's innocent, they outnumber them by a long mile. Take those mistakes, however, and what do we have here? A man who genuinely has the best intentions. A man who wants to help his community, save people from their traumatic experiences. He is a man who is at the wrong place at the wrong time, allowing him to be slandered by the most bigoted pedophile community of all time. And let me tell you something, Chair, if you're watching this. You're lucky that this all worked out. Because, yes, what you did was still wrong. You should have got a professional involved. You really should. But you're lucky that this worked out for you. Because whatever you did for that minor to stop him from killing himself, it worked. What you did was still wrong, but at the end of the day, that kid is saved. You saved that child. And that is something no one can deny. It worked. You are extremely lucky that it worked out the way it did. It could have went south very fast. What happened here is that Chair has come face to face with a little thing we like to call trolling. Let's face it, the only reason he's being harassed right now is because that's the only way they will have a platform. They see a guy with 1,000 followers and they immediately target this dude for no fucking reason. Also that they can get attention and get some more followers and gain a following. They want a platform. That is the whole reason they are slandering his name. By slandering his name, they are forcing him to give in to the trolling methods that I described earlier. They are essentially seeking attention, which is unfortunate because he has to respond to the trolls, because if he doesn't, it will actually hurt him, which is fucked up. The lolicon community is a fucked up pedophile community that needs to be put down. They are false heroes branding themselves as individuals who actually care about innocent lives, but in reality, all they've done is destroy them. These people are evil. They do not care about children. They don't actually care about pedophilia. They don't care about innocent lives being ruined. They're just a bunch of attention seekers who has the power to force you to give them exactly what they want. So here's my advice to you, to anyone. If you see anyone calling anybody a pedophile, check their profile. If they have loli porn all over their profile, whether it's cropped porn or uncropped, if they have a history of defending lolicon material and all kinds of pedophilic material, block them, report them. Do not respond to these people. That's what they want. They're trolls. Do not feed the trolls. It is what they want. Don't even acknowledge their existence. Their accusation holds no weight. So try not to take it seriously. Block them and report them. Because the moment you give them attention, the moment you give them exactly what they want, you will never be able to escape. Lolicons, pedophiles, tomato tomato, potato potato. They will milk you dry until there is nothing left. Chair and me are living proof of that. They will farm you for as much attention as they can get until you delete your account. Tell your friends, tell your followers, tell everyone you know to block these people, because they are like the UTTP on YouTube, but if they were all anime watchers. These lolicons are pure evil. They pretend to be heroes on the outside, but on the inside, they are the very monsters they swore to destroy. They will go into your DMs, harass you, tell you to kill yourself, basically. And I've posted screenshots of this before on my main account on Twitter. I was laughing my fucking ass off. That shit was funny. But that's the problem, right? I was born and raised in this hellscape. I was born and raised in the Call of Duty chats. I was born and raised in the 4chan threads. So I'm used to this shit. This is my home. This is my territory. My place, you know? I'm used to it. But not everybody is like me. They will literally send you death threats if you criticize their community. They will post gore too. They will do anything to make you uncomfortable if you look into their DMs. Just block them and report them. Mass report them if you can. These child raping lunatics need to be put down by any means necessary before they hurt anyone else. The lolicons have falsely claimed this man to be a pedophile. Falsely claimed this man to be a sexual groomer. But in reality, he's not a groomer. He's not a pedophile. He doesn't want to touch kids. He's not like that. He is a doom scroller. He is a doom scroller who made a lot of mistakes, but most importantly, He's a therapist. A future therapist. Make sure he gets there. He's gonna need all the support he can get. And Chair, if you're watching, good luck. Because in this hellscape, we can use another therapist. This is Maniac, the Crimson God, signing out.
It's sad that my mental disorder had to have led him to being chased off of a place he once called home. But, in a way, it was a blessing, because he seems to be better after everything.
Alright, so let me get this straight. There was no sexual interactions of any kind. Sure, he was being edgy, but nothing sexual was going on between you two whatsoever.
Sexual jokes. No. Suggestive jokes. Maybe, but not really inappropriate to the point it's grooming or pedophilic.